Then this is burning up your social media feed right now. New England Patriots wide receiver Stefon Diggs facing criminal charges, including felony strangulation or suffocation, misdemeanor assault, and battery. The charges stem from an incident in Massachusetts earlier this month. So far, pretty thin on details, but we're asking the questions. A hearing on the case is set for today.
A courtroom in Massachusetts has become the center of one of the NFL's biggest off-field stories. One witness took the stand, described what she says happened behind closed doors, and suddenly the spotlight shifted from football to a criminal trial that could have major consequences for Stefon Diggs' future. For years, Diggs built a reputation as one of the league's elite wide receivers, multiple Pro Bowl selections, impressive receiving numbers, and a lucrative contract made him one of football's biggest stars.
Completely innocent of these false allegations that have been alleged against him. We're confident that after the facts and evidence are reviewed in this case, he will be completely...
But now, instead of preparing for another season, he's defending himself against serious criminal charges. The case centers on allegations made by Jamila Adams, who worked as Diggs' private chef and, according to her testimony, had known him for several years before becoming her employee. She told jurors that their relationship was complicated, explaining that they were once close personally before eventually working together professionally. According to Adams, tensions had been growing for weeks before the incident at the center of the case.
I was standing in front of him. When he slapped me, I went to try to hit him back like this. And then it was like he tackled me, got me to try to keep from pushing him or protecting myself. And he put his arm around my neck like this, and he was choking.
She testified that disagreements involving personal matters and money created an increasingly difficult environment. Prosecutors argue those problems eventually led to an alleged confrontation inside Diggs' home in December 2025. On the witness stand, Adams described entering what she says became a frightening encounter. She testified that Diggs entered her room visibly upset and that an argument quickly turned physical. According to her testimony, she was slapped and then placed in a chokehold, leaving her struggling to breathe. Those allegations form the basis of the criminal charges now before the court. Diggs has pleaded not guilty, and his attorneys strongly deny the accusations.
Weeks ahead of time, because me and his girlfriend, Cardi B, we were talking about having outfits and stuff. It was a whole thing being planned, and he just waited till the last day. So I was more upset with him not letting me know I wasn't gonna come at it earlier.
The defense has taken a very different position. Lawyers for Diggs argue this is not a case about violence, but rather a disagreement over money. They told jurors that Adams was unhappy over financial issues and later made accusations after that dispute escalated. Defense attorneys also questioned several aspects of Adams' account. During cross-examination, they highlighted that she did not immediately seek medical treatment, did not photograph any visible injuries, and continued communicating with Diggs after the alleged incident. They also pointed to messages in which she expressed interest in continuing to work for him. Adams responded that financial concerns influenced many of those decisions. She testified that she believed remaining on good terms with Diggs was the best chance of receiving money she believed she was owed. Another point of discussion during the trial involved differences between Adams' testimony and her initial police report. She acknowledged that not every detail appeared in her original statement, explaining that she left out certain information for personal reasons. Throughout the proceedings, Diggs has remained largely silent in public. His attorneys have spoken on his behalf, maintaining that he is innocent and urging jurors to focus on the evidence presented in court rather than public opinion. The outcome of the trial could affect far more than the criminal charges. Diggs was released by the New England Patriots after the allegations became public and is currently without an NFL team. While the league has not announced any disciplinary decision tied to the case, the proceedings are being closely watched because the NFL's personal conduct policy could become a factor depending on the outcome. As the trial continues, prosecutors are expected to present additional witnesses, including law enforcement officers involved in the investigation. The defense also plans to call witnesses who they believe will challenge Adams' version of events. Ultimately, the responsibility now rests with the jury. Their job is not to decide who is more famous or whose story attracts more headlines. Their role is to carefully examine the testimony, evaluate the evidence, consider the credibility of each witness, and determine whether prosecutors have proven the charges beyond a reasonable doubt. Until a verdict is reached, the allegations remain allegations, and Diggs is presumed innocent under the law. Whatever the jury ultimately decides, this case has already become one of the most closely followed legal stories involving a current NFL player. It serves as a reminder that courtroom proceedings, not social media debates, are where evidence is tested and legal responsibility is determined.
The trial is still underway. More testimony is expected, and the final outcome has yet to be decided. As new developments emerge, the public will continue watching to see what the evidence ultimately reveals and how the jury reaches its decision. If you're following this case and want updates as the proceedings continue, stay tuned for future coverage as more information becomes available. As this trial moves forward, one thing is becoming increasingly clear. The final outcome won't be decided by headlines, viral clips, or online debates. It will be decided inside the courtroom, where every witness is questioned, every piece of evidence is examined, and every argument is carefully considered. Cases like this often generate strong opinions, but the legal process exists to separate emotion from evidence. That process is still unfolding, and until it reaches its conclusion, the allegations remain allegations, and Stefon Diggs is presumed innocent unless proven guilty in court. What makes this case so compelling is that both sides have presented very different accounts of the same events. The prosecution argues that the evidence supports the allegations made by the former private chef, while the defense insists that the claims are false and motivated by a financial dispute. Those competing narratives are exactly what the jury must evaluate. Their responsibility is to weigh the testimony, examine the facts, assess the credibility of the witnesses, and ultimately determine whether the prosecution has met the legal standard required for a conviction. Beyond the courtroom, the case has already affected public perception and raised questions about what comes next for everyone involved. Whether you're following this story because you're an NFL fan, interested in high-profile legal cases, or simply trying to understand the facts, it's important to wait for the judicial process to run its course before reaching final conclusions. As more witnesses testify and additional evidence is presented, the picture could become clearer or even more complicated. We'll continue following every major development, every significant court update, and every important legal decision as this case unfolds. Our goal is to bring you accurate, balanced coverage that explains what happened in court without jumping to conclusions or spreading rumors. If new testimony, evidence, or rulings emerge, you'll hear about them right here. If you found this breakdown informative and want to stay updated on this case and other major sports and celebrity news stories, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss an update. Your support helps us continue bringing you in-depth coverage of the stories everyone is talking about.
We'd also love to hear your thoughts, so leave a respectful comment below sharing your perspective on the case. Thanks so much for watching. Stay safe, and we'll see you in the next video with more breaking news and in-depth analysis.